Welcome to Lockdown Laughs number 16. My name is Simone Holder and I'm your host for this evening, and we have a wonderful, hilarious show with a lineup of funny, hilarious people. And so just a few housekeeping items before we get started. Keep your microphones open because we want to hear you laugh. You know, we're very insecure and we need the laughter. It's like, is it Peter Pan where they're like, clap, keep clapping, it keeps us alive. That's that's what laughter does for us. So please, if you're shy and you don't want to be on camera, that's totally okay. But we want to hear your laughter. All right. So our show is amazing. Our headliner is Ashley Perna. She's very funny. It's going to be great. And yeah, that's about it. So thank you for coming, and we'll get started. So I find that people have been behaving badly with impunity for too long, you know, and I think it's time that some of these people, you know, face some dire consequences for their reckless behavior and their actions. So, you know, so if you want to chew food with your mouth open and make these sounds while you eat, fuck around and find out. If you want to steal a French fry off my plate, fuck around and find out. You want to touch my hair without my permission? Fuck around and find out. You want to make promises and not follow through? Fuck around and find out, Kyle. I think my hands have grown. Like, it seems like my fingers are longer and like my palms are wider. Something like, I don't know, evolution 2.0. And I think it's because, you know, we've been spending more and more time on our phones, and our phones are getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So it makes sense that our hands adjust, you know? So it's either that or I'm just going through menopause and it's, you know, I got big hands to go with the new knuckle hair. I have to say though, you know, masturbation has been a lot more fun and easier with the bigger hands.
Huh.
So the other day I was watching a YouTube video by a Black hairstylist, and I like her videos because she's like a hair whisperer. Like, she can fix any hair disaster. And so the title of this video was called Extremely Matted Ball on Caucasian Hair. And I was like, huh, okay. So apparently this white woman hadn't combed her hair in like over 3 years. And so what resulted was a big hairball about the size of a melon at the back of her head. And I was like, how do you not comb your hair for 3 years? Like, that's the easiest thing you can do. Plus Caucasian hair. Caucasian hair is the easiest hair to deal with. You know, combing Caucasian hair is like combing a golden retriever. You know, it's silky, it's straight, a comb goes right through it. I don't see what the problem is. You know, meanwhile, I spent decades, you know, burning my hair with chemicals or flattening irons to, you know, to be perceived as presentable and professional. Meanwhile, this bitch can't be bothered to drag a comb through her hair, you know, and now she expects a Black woman to fix it. Bitch, please. So there was this guy, let's call him Derek because that's his name. Derek was really into me and I was really into Derek, but Derek would make a big production out of trying to get me to go home with him. Like, so much so that the entire bar knew what he was trying to do. So this happened every weekend. So I never went home with him. I wanted to, but I never did because Derek's a fucking moron. You know, Like, I didn't want to be the woman who went home with Captain Duh, you know? And the thing is, had Derek played this smarter and had been more discreet, the keys to Disneyland would have been his. I'm in my mid-50s. I'm going to be 55 in March. And, you know, I kind of want to be a sugar mama right now, like mix it up a little bit, change the dynamic, except I don't have sugar mama money. You know, I have a good job. I have benefits and insurance. I know my way around a dick, but no sugar mama money, you know? Like, I'm more of a sweet and low aspartame Splenda mama, you know, because the best I can do is lavish him with monthly transit passes and shower him with Tim Hortons gift cards. That's all I can do, you know? But a guy I've been flirting with, he calls me mama. It's kind of cool. He's young, so it's more like mama, but that's all right. He's not here because he's not here right now because it's too close to his bedtime. Have you guys ever told someone to go fuck themselves? You know, or been told somebody tell you go fuck yourself? You know, when somebody said it to me, someone said it to me, and I'm like, that's not an insult. You know, it's like, are you kidding? Like, if I could get off Tinder and go fuck myself, you know how many problems that would solve? Gee, you know, I'd finally get done properly and well, finish satisfied. God, get it whenever I want. God, and I could use my well-honed skills on myself instead of on someone who doesn't know how any of this works. So I have a thing for younger men. I do. I embrace my cougar status. Technically, I'm a jaguar because I'm in my 50s, but whatever. I look like a cougar. There's a whole thing called a feline scale. So it goes from like kitten to like saber-toothed tiger or something like that. And so most people are familiar with cougar, but technically cougar is like 40s and it's jaguar in the 50s. So I'm technically a jaguar who can pass for a cougar or even a puma. So, but I like younger men because I just think they're so cute, you know, and I like that they don't make weird noises when they breathe. You know? And they're energetic and eager to please, and they haven't had the will to live beaten out of them yet. You know, so like the last few men I've been with have been between 18 and 20 years younger than me. And people have asked me like, why so young? And I'm like, because I can. You know? Like, look at me, I'm pretty, I'm sexy, and I have no gag reflex. Also, like, I feel like I have to put this disclaimer out. They were all grown men when I got to them, okay? They were all fully grown, functional men. It's not like they were in diapers and I was like, ooh, I'll wait. That one looks like he'll be hot when he hits his 30s. No. They were grown-ass men when I met them, okay? But I do feel that I may have ruined some of them for more age-appropriate women because, like, I came to the table with some skills, right? And I may have dropped a few skills and blown his millennial mind. So, so they'll always have a, you know, a special place in their heart for me. So that's all I'm saying. So, are you guys ready to get this show started?
Woo!
Woo! Yay, yay. Okay, so we're gonna keep this moving. So, your next performer, I had the pleasure of seeing him do his very first set back in September, and he was hilarious. So he's local to Ottawa, so let's welcome Chris Cannon. Woo! Woo! Let me spotlight you, Chris.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Woo.
There you go.
You laugh now, Pardis, but when you're gonna need steel in India one day, who's gonna be laughing? Lakshmi is. That's who. Before we get started, I just want to say, guys, I am not Kevin Smith's gay son. Stop asking. Okay? I'm his bi son. Jesus Christ. No, I look ridiculous though. I'm aware, like the whole hockey jersey douchebag look. I look like a gay guy going out for Halloween as a straight guy. It's not ideal. Mom, I swear, Richard's just my roommate. God, I like monster trucks and girls and hockey. Fuck. No, it's good to be here. The last time I saw this many faceless strangers, I was at a Jeff Bezos mask on orgy. So this is a good change of pace. It's good to be here doing a comedy on Zoom. Last week I did comedy on Discord. It's just a bunch of 12-year-olds screaming into their microphones. And you don't want to do that. You don't want to do comedy in an environment where you don't feel unique. What's going on? We got some crazy stuff. They got all these COVID variants. I hate the COVID variants because they have such cool names like Omicron and Delta. Like, are these transformers or viruses? What the fuck's going on? I'm just worried my autistic cousin's gonna think they're Pokemon and try to catch them all. There's truck drivers, bunch of racist white truck drivers coming to Ottawa because that's what we needed. More 40-year-old white men in Ottawa. They got the demographic set. What else we got here? Whew. All right. I watched Saving Private Ryan the other day, which is a movie about 8 brave souls laying down their lives and sacrificing themselves for one man. They should just call the movie Donald Trump's Cabinet. Thank you. That's my political joke attempt. I put on this like douchey backwards hat for like the bit, and now I can't take it off. I am forever a backwards hat guy, and there is no cure. I'm gonna die by like eardrum poisoning from all the Blink-182 I'm gonna have to listen to. I went to go buy a dog the other day with my girlfriend. I should mention for this bit, my girlfriend is Asian. And we went to go buy, not the joke, but no, we went to go buy a dog, and the girl at the pound was like, "Oh, you're gonna love this dog. She's so sweet." And my girlfriend, out loud, and this actually happened, she's like, "I prefer my meat kind of tender." I am diagnosed with ADHD, which is not a real fucking disease. ADHD is a disease that white people made up so that we can feel like victims. Black people are like, we've been through hundreds of years of oppression, and white people are like, oh yeah, well, some of our kids can't focus, so yeah. All right. Does anyone here have like a very old, like mean, ratchety dad? Because I do. He's the best. He calls me and he just complains about like nonsense all the time. He's my hero. The other, like about a month ago, because they live in a small town of about 2,000 people, they changed the handicap fellow who worked at Tim Hortons, and my father called me and ranted about it for 30 minutes straight. He's my hero. He's the best. He just cares about nonsense like that. And his favorite thing to call and complain about is my nephew. He all the time he calls me up and he's like, "Oh, Christopher, that fucking nephew of yours, that daughter of mine's raising him like a pussy." And to be fair to my dad, he's right. My nephew is a pussy. But to be fair to my nephew, he's 4. Most 4-year-olds kind of aren't like that. But he likes complaining about him a lot. And his most recent thing to complain about is, I guess, the games that kids play nowadays. Because when my dad was a kid, they used to play as cowboys and Indians, whereas now it's called cowboys and buried treasure. All right, that's well. End on a strong note. Jeez. All right, let's flip through the book. That one didn't work too well. My girlfriend asked me to move in with her the other day, which I thought was weird. Because why would I move into a pit in my own basement? All right, thank you. I've been Chris Cannon, guys.
Hey, Chris, thank you. Thank you. Hold on. If you guys hear that there's something going on in my building, it sounds like they're drilling for oil. I don't know if you can hear it, so I apologize for that. Yeah.
It sounds very Abyss-like. Are you sure there's not like some sort of monster in the hallway?
I hope not.
Are you
I
in a
wasn't thinking about
submarine?
that, but now you've got that in my head.
Yeah, sorry, man. But
Yeah,
Open
it's
the door,
annoying.
check who
I
it is.
apologize for that. Okay, so let's keep the show moving. So your next act, I love him to bits. He's part of the Kingston crew. He's hilarious, and he's Peter Egnatoff. So woo! Yay. So let me spotlight you,
Wow.
Peter.
Okay, I'll just wait
Okay.
patiently.
Yeah, you're up.
Hi,
Hi.
everybody. Like they say at the orgy, this is such a hack joke for the record, so I'm sorry. Like they say at the orgy, thank you all for coming. Fuck, it's so dumb. So thanks specifically to Simone for putting on the online show. I know it's maybe not what people would prefer, but it's what we can do in these times. I was probably also a hack joke too, but I was likening like if a real show is sex, online shows are jacking it, right? Like obviously you'd rather be doing it in person, but this is better than nothing. Here we are. Thank you all for watching me jack off. That doesn't sound right. Okay. So yeah, I'm Peter. What do you want to know about me? Yeah, COVID. So COVID sucked. I stayed up late. I was eating snacks a lot, so I gained a little weight. Got myself a bit of a gut. I knew it was a problem. Like the underwear started doing that thing where like the elastic kind of rolls down. I don't know if anyone else has suffered through this. The real kicker was I got rained on one day walking home, and I got drenched, except for like the area, like my dick and balls, basically it was kept dry by my what I've dubbed my tumbrella. So, you got I heard that, Bobby. Heard it. Thanks for coming out, bud. Yeah, it's the only thing keeping me going is that joke. Fuck. So yeah, what else about me? If you guys can't tell from the shirt, I work at Adidas. I don't just love the brand that much. But yeah, it's got its benefits. There's some downsides though. Like I don't know if anyone else has worked retail, but like sometimes you got to deal with shitty customers. I've never had a customer take a dump in the store, but there was one time a dog. We allow dogs in the store. Dog did. That was pretty poopy. No. Why did I shouldn't? It's not even the joke. I'm just getting lost here. Tell you this fucking dumbass story. So no people poop, but one time the other day I was going through cleaning the women's section and found a pair of women's undies on the ground, which we don't sell. Yeah, no 3 stripes on this one, but there was a streak. Yeah, they still smell terrific though. Sorry. Maybe some of you at the start weren't thinking like, yeah, that's definitely a guy that would sniff underwear he found on the floor of a store. Like you probably weren't thinking it off the bat, but now that I've said it, you're like, okay, I do see it. I see it. It's in the dead eyes. He's done some shit. He helped Chris dig his basement pit. Welcome. You still owe me a lock of hair. Fucking talked about that.
We'll work out a deal.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Hart mentioned the nuts thing. That was wild. I like that they said trail mix. That sounds like the exact kind of drug concoction that you would expect to find. A little bit of Molly in there, a little bit of benzos. I traded with an old guy, so who knows what this could be? Some 70s acid in there. Who knows? Trail mix, baby. Take a handful, see where you go. Fucking, what else can I tell you about myself? Oh yeah, COVID was good. Come here. I got this little guy. Huh?
Oh.
He hates me. Okay. They've been real good. So I got him and his brother's hiding somewhere. I don't know. But I'm learning a lot. It's my first pets I've ever had. I'm learning that like everyone knows dogs get red rockets. Like I didn't know cats get them too. It's the worst. What else? And like here I am like an idiot. Like I didn't want to jack off in front of them for like the first while. I was like hiding in the bathroom doing it. Like, I didn't want to scar them. And then next thing I know, they're fucking licking their rods. I'm like, all right, I guess I can put on a show too. I don't know what like we're family now, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And speaking of family, I didn't realize that cats also do. Like obviously cats are going to try to hump stuff. I didn't figure that the one brother's like poor Gary there that you saw a second ago would just like lie there and take it. And I didn't want to stand for it, you know. Like I'm not against homosexuality, but I am going to draw the line at incest. Okay, guys. I'm a progressive fella, but I'm not napping progressive, you know. Anyway, I think I'm probably almost out of time.
In about 30 seconds.
30 seconds. Okay, yeah. Sick. I can blast out this last one. So obviously comedy's not going to work for me. So I got some business plans. Okay. I've been thinking about opening up a restaurant, but there's a lot of those. So I got to have a theme. Okay. So my restaurant is going to have, we're going to sell seafood. First of all, that's important to the joke. Fuck, I almost forgot. So we sell seafood, and we also have a gun range in the back. Okay. A little bit of a draw for the folks. We're going to call it Fish and Grips. I got the retail experience though, so I was thinking maybe clothes, fucking socks and glocks, because obviously we have a gun range. I need to reiterate, every business I'm going to mention is going to have a gun range in it. I got the cats, so pet food store. What is it? Cats and Gats. That's it. Cats and Gats. I know it's rules of threes, but we're stopping. We're gonna do one more and then I'm fucking off out of here. Thank you so much for your time and enjoy the rest of your show. I'm gonna open a chocolate shop with a gun range in the back. We're gonna call it Trifles and Rifles. All right. Thank you so much. Have a good rest of your day, everybody.
Thank you, Peter. Thanks, Pete. Hilarious. Yay! Thank you. That was great. Are you guys enjoying yourselves so far?
Woo!
It's a great show so far.
Yeah.
Yay. Okay, so your next act is a very funny woman. She hails out of Boston. I've performed with her a whole bunch of times. You're going to love her. Let's welcome Amma Marfo. Woo! Let me spotlight you.
Okay.
There you go.
There I am. Big. Everybody could see me. Fantastic. Before I start, I need to commiserate with Hart about middle-agedness, like the whole way through. I've had a benign positional vertigo since I was 16 years old. So like sometimes you're just around and you just get dizzy. And if this happens to you, don't Google it. It's horrifying, but positional vertigo is really common for people in their 70s and 80s. So it's exciting to have a disease when you're 16 that wasn't covered on Degrassi, but was covered on the West Wing. Like it's a weird place to be. Anyway, I'm here. I'm exhausted to be here. It's a problem. I don't sleep well when I'm like stressed or anxious, and we've been in a pandemic for almost 2 years, so I've been awake the whole time. And normally when I do this, anytime I talk about this, people are like, oh, well, have you tried, before you fire up your chat fingers, put your hands down. I've tried everything. Everyone has told me all of the things. Tried them all, still awake. I've tried meditation because I do yoga. A lot of people have said you should try meditation. Now listen, while I do identify as a straight woman, that is an overstatement of the issue. Men are being tolerated at best. So this is important to say because like 70% of meditation tracks are voiced by men. And there are a couple women here. Women, is it helpful when men tell you to calm down?
No.
That on a loop for an hour? Sorry, Kevin, Christian, Leif, and that's the only names they have. None of you are up for the task. So that wasn't going to work. Screen time. Apparently I'm getting too much of it. Who isn't? I'm supposed to have less, which again, great idea. But then Disney Plus went and put the entirety of the 1997 One Saturday Morning cartoon Pepper Ann on their service. So I can't go to sleep. I have things to do. So, and it's wild. Like, I've talked to a number of professionals about this. It has stymied my therapist. My doctors were confused. I went to the dentist and like opened my mouth and she was just like, oh, you never want to hear that when you go to the dentist. Just, oh, how are you sleeping? And I was like, I'm not. Thank you for noticing. So went to the doctor. Finally, they figured out like you should probably try an anti-anxiety medication, which I suspected because the week before I went, I had actually traveled overseas in like that brief window where the pandemic was quiet enough that you could go do things. I was in Iceland, spent like 60% of my time there in hot springs, most relaxed I've ever been. Come back to the United States, and I'm like, I want to feel that relaxed. And they're like, best we can do is Lexapro. So here we are. And I mean, it's working. Thankfully, it's working and things are starting to get better. And I'm glad that that's the route we decided to take because my previous antidepressant was out of stock, which is to say I had run out of episodes of the most recent season of Great British Baking Show. And I needed to find something else. So through what I'm going to call gently legal processes, I found episodes from other countries. There are a lot of Canadians here. So I'm from Canada, live in the US, probably because the healthcare was too affordable where I lived. So anyway, I started with the Great Canadian Bake Off. Incredible. So fantastic. Just everyone is so lovely and the judging is so polite. It is unhelpful. And whoever ends up winning Star Baker never believes that they earned it. They're just like, me? Really? This week with what I made? I could listen to that on a loop for 20 minutes. It would be amazing. Someone do that as a meditation track, then we'd be getting somewhere. So naturally, I ran out of a nice thing, blew through it too quickly, that was all gone. So then I realized that I could watch the episodes from African countries. There are two editions that are African, Kenya and South Africa. Now, coming from African people, both my parents are from there, still have family there, they live there. It was surprising to me that there were African versions of it. I mean, there's not really a baking tradition in Africa the way there is in other countries. Not to mention, for those of us who know history, the last time the British went to Africa and were like, hey, there's this thing that we're doing. We think you should participate. Like, it didn't go great. Like, they got a tea tradition, but I would argue they lost a great deal more. Do you get what I'm saying? So, nevertheless, there are African versions. So I watched it and they felt perfect. Like exactly what I needed from going home. Like a signature bake takes 5 hours. Everyone is behaving as though they only had 30 minutes, which is absolutely how it was in my house. Like that's every year trying to leave for the neighbor's house at Thanksgiving. We had to be there at 1:30 and my dad's like, we should get ready at 1:25. Like that's what that was. And then like when they finally do come out and they do the judging, then no one hears the criticism. Like that's every African aunt that I have. Like I remember talking to my aunt about how she didn't need to tell everybody that I wasn't married every time I come to visit. And in response, at an engagement party, she said to my whole family in Akan, which is their language, that she hoped next time there was an engagement party, it would be for me. And then turns to me and repeats it in English to make absolutely sure that I was embarrassed in 2 languages. So like, that's the kind of taking a note that is typical of Africans. But in any case, it did exactly what it needed to do. It felt homey, felt comfortable. And then naturally I started wondering, Canada got it right, England got it right, Africa, multiple countries got it right. Why don't we have a successful American version? I looked it up. It's for the exact reasons you would expect. repeated incidents of sexual harassment and sexual assault. So the first time they tried to make it in America, the male British judge, and there's only one, so you know exactly who I'm talking about, cheated on his wife with an American judge. Fun fact, when they do the American one, they film it in England. That's why. The second time they tried to do it, the American male judge got dismissed because he had been harassing women in his restaurants. So it's not meant for us. We don't get it. Everybody else does. But something really interesting happened as I did all of this Wikipedia researching. Like the further and further I got into the rabbit hole, the more and more comfortable I felt because men were facing consequences. And like that doesn't normally happen. And I'll tell you something, that's calming. So let that lull you to sleep. That was what did it. We did it, everybody. We got what we needed to get. That's my time. Thanks, everybody.
That was great. Thank you so much. That was amazing. Thank you so much. So funny. So funny. So let's this is such a great show. So let's keep this going. So who's next? Is Bobby here?
Yep.
Oh, yay. So our next guest is hilarious, very talented. And he said he might be interrupted by his roommate during his set. So we're not sure, but let's welcome Bobby Knauff. Let me find you, Bobby, so I can spotlight you. Hang on. There you are.
Mustache.
Oh yeah.
Holy
First,
There
let me
you are.
start off by saying Pepper Ann, marching in her own parade. Pepper Ann, she's like 1 in a million. Love that show. And you just told me that. I was this close to texting Simone, being like, I gotta cancel and go watch all of Pepper Ann. That is like one of my favorite. Oh, my, and how they end at the beginning of every song, it was like a different end to the beginning of the song. She found something different under her desk every. This could just be a Pepper Ann appreciation show right now. Oh my good golly. Oh, thank you. Oh, I've been enjoying this. I know you're not allowed to say that. I've been enjoying this last month of like, I don't have to do anything. Like I have an easy job and I want the robots to take all our jobs. I don't like I'm awaiting the day that like I show up and they're like, no, robots telling dick jokes. And I'm like, fucking sweet. Let's go get in the field. Like, why do we have jobs? Like, oh my God. So ridiculous. I was thinking the other day, you know when like an invention happens and it's like it dominates an industry for a while and then another invention just wipes it out and then that just goes away? That always happens. Like ice was like a thing and then refrigeration came around, that business just went away and all these different things over time. And I was just thinking like, what's one that like lasted or changed? And I was like thinking, it was like candles. Once lights came around, shouldn't have candles just disappeared and then what? But candles, they had a trick up their sleeve. They're like, oh yeah, we're gonna start smelling fucking good. And we're gonna just make it hot. Like sexy candles. Because candles before weren't sexy. Like if you walked into a room now, you're like, just candles, you're like, ooh, something's gonna happen. But before electricity, you just were like, I don't want to stub my toe while I take a shit. Like, wasn't sexy. Like, I was realizing this past month of just being at home, I'm really jealous of comics from the 80s. And not in a sense of like, it was an easier time or pre-internet or it was the heyday. No, none of that. It was just you didn't know if a cat was more popular than you. You know what I mean? No. Yeah. But there's an app. I don't know if you heard of this app, Instagram, where there's 1,000 cats that are way more popular than all of us. Isn't that the saddest thing in the world? That like if you have a bad set in the 80s and you walk out of a club and a cat walks by, you're like, oh, it's a cat. But if you have a bad set now and you walk out, you're like, that cat probably is doing better than me. Like that's people used to say like people used to get mad when people think the world revolves around them, and I don't think that. I don't care if people think the world revolves around them. I am offended when people think the universe revolves around them. People read their posts sometimes like, I'm just going to put this out into the universe. Really? Really? You're putting it into your 18 followers? I say that's an alto. You're putting that into a bodega. That's what you're putting in. Not the universe. Also, I turned my phone off the other day for a long time, for like 5 hours. People were trying to text me and they're like, oh. They turned it back on and then they were like, what? My mom was like, well, what's going on? Well, we couldn't get a hold of you. What if it was an emergency? And I'm like, why are you calling me? Like, unless you're a doctor and anyone calls you in an emergency, they just want you to be sadder faster. That's no time that I've ever been like, oh, an emergency, like, oh, my aunt's dead. Cool. Like, that could have waited. Like, what? Oh, everyone has to be sad now. I'm gonna call everyone. Like, I want, okay, this, someone in the crowd or in the comics is gonna have what I'm about to say. I want sleep paralysis. And people that have sleep paralysis, like, no, you don't let me, because when you have a thing, you're allowed to be a prick about it. You're just allowed to be like, no, because I have it and it's the worst. I thought about it because like everyone's told me about sleep paralysis, and I'm always like, I'm like, oh yeah, but in the back of my head, I'm like, that sounds awesome. Like, do you know how much money I will save on horror movies if I had sleep paralysis? Like, oh, Bobby, you're gonna rent the new Candyman? Like, no, it might happen tonight. Like, whoa, like, it's amazing. You know when people have a bottle of booze, it's champagne, and they open the cork and it goes woo, and it's exciting. Yeah. I don't care when people do that, but when they do it with the sword, I hate those people. There's not a joke here. I just like say a friend of mine, like since grade school that I've known forever, I'll give them a kidney. If they get a house and then they bust out the thing and they have a sword, I'm like, well, this is the last time I'm seeing them. Like, I'm never speaking to you again. Like, get out of here. Oh, yeah. Get out. Speaking of get out of here, it's your turn to get out of here. What are you talking about? Yeah, it's my time to shine. What are you talking about? This is my roommate, Andre. Hey, everybody. Hey, get out of here. It's my time to shine. Hey, everybody. My name's Andre. Look, I put on a suit for you guys. Put on a suit and jacket. Looking pretty good. Hey, what's the deal with stuff? Look at me. I didn't get enough attention at child this, and now I'm telling jokes. I'm just making fun of you. I'm roasting you. Okay. I don't got a lot of time here. Don't got a lot of time. Okay, you human. I'm from space, by the way. My name's Andre. I'm from outer space. Crash landed in this guy's backyard, and he let me live with him. So here we go. You know how you say a lot of weird stuff. You guys have a lot of colloquialisms. You got a lot of weird sayings. There's one saying I hear people say, they go, whoa, looks like the tables have turned. And it's really dramatic. It's like, oh, someone else has something up on you. But maybe, here, get this. You ever see a lazy Susan? You ever see one of these? Where it spins around and you're like, hey, I got the salt. That's pretty good. Maybe the first person who said the tables are turned, they just saw a lazy Susan for the first time. So maybe it wasn't all dramatic. It was just like, whoa, looks like the tables have turned. Hey, joke number one. Okay. Don't worry, I only got 3. I don't want to go over my time here. Joke number 2. You guys ever do a puzzle? You guys ever do a puzzle before? Yeah, okay. They're considered boring, old news, you know what I mean? Like something that old people do, or, little kids. But the first person who ever come up with a puzzle, what a wacky guy. You know what I mean? You're in an art gallery, you're looking at some art with your friends, and then one guy's like, "Hey, what if we cut it up?" Wait, hear me out. We'll put it back together. It might be fun. Okay, that's almost my time, but one last thing. I'm gonna open a party store, right? With a gun range in the back. But get this. There's also an explosion range.
Whoa.
Yeah, so it's a party store with a gun range and an explosion range. It's called Parades and Grenades. That's my time, everybody.
Alright,
That's my
yeah.
time. And that's my time too. Thank you guys so much. Sorry I went over a minute.
Thank you,
Andre's never
Bobby.
performed, so you taking up a lot of time there. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. That was awesome. Thank you, Bobby. Thank you, Andre.
Andre has ear hair.
That was so funny. That was awesome. Oh, this is great. I'm having such a good time, you guys. This is amazing. So our next act is a friend of mine, and he's a friend of the show as well. He hasn't been here in a little bit. This is, I think, his third or fourth appearance on the show. So let's welcome Hamilton Berger. Woo! Let me find you. Where is he? Oh, here you are. And you're up.
Cool. Yeah, no puppets. So how's everybody doing?
Good. Woo!
I'm glad that everyone is having a good the first of the next 364 bells you had your chance day. Because I don't know if you heard, but yesterday was Bell's Let's Talk Day. Now, a lot of people crap on Bell. Bell is a Canadian phone company and all that. And I'm not going to do that. But it occurs to me that considering Canadians pay one of the highest prices for cell phones in the entire world, like Bell Let's Talk Day, I think should be every other week. So it should basically go like this week, paycheck. Next week, Bell Let's Talk Day. Paycheck, Bell Let's Talk Day. So as we approach the second anniversary of the pandemic, I'm starting to think that those claims of 2 weeks to flatten the curve were slightly exaggerated. But the worst part about it for me was that our Prime Minister Justin Trudeau did not deliver on his promise that if we got our vaccines that we would get a white boy summer last year. It's possible that was Chet Hanks. Either way, it was somebody who's only famous because of their dad. So I don't know about you, but I'm a little bit concerned about the efforts by the government of Canada to regulate social media. Not so much from any sort of censorship point of view, but I'm just concerned that at some point I'm going to be on Facebook and I'm going to try and post like that Pam from The Office meme where she points at the two pictures and they're the same. And due to Canadian content rules, they're like, no, would you like to try some Kim's Convenience meals? And the answer, of course, is no, because nobody knows what those are. Well, how about a corner gas meat? No. Terrible, terrible, terrible. So I used to go out with this woman who was a real demon in the sack, according to The Exorcist. She cheated on me with. So suffice it to say, that was not the best relationship, but I should have recognized it. I should have seen the red flags. For example, the quality of gifts that we exchange went downhill over time. early on in our relationship. She got me this really cool shower radio. Towards the end, she got me a much less cool bathtub toaster. Some people were talking about things that they're watching to help get through the pandemic. And let me just tell you that I love Cobra Kai. Johnny Lawrence is my spirit animal. And some of you might be saying, well, I read an article in the CDC that said that you're not allowed to use the word spirit animal. And my response to that would be quiet. So but what's great about Cobra Kai that you just don't see in any other shows is that it manages to both balance nostalgia and teach critically important life lessons to young people, specifically the life lessons that sports is everything and that violence is in fact the solution to all your problems. It's a great show, highly recommend. So I'll leave you folks with this. So my parents, they rebuilt their house not that long ago, which was pretty cool. But it turns out they accidentally rebuilt it on an ancient atheist burial ground. So what this means is that it is haunted, but instead of trying to scare my parents every time they see a ghost, it tries to convince them it doesn't exist. So I actually got to go home for the holidays this year, and I was heading down into the basement, and this ghostly apparition appeared in front of me, and in a deep, disembodied voice, it said, "The human body and the human mind are so closely intertwined that the demise of the former necessitates with it the demise of the latter, and with that, the demise of the human soul, if such a thing can be said to even exist." And I was like, yeah, I'm just here to do my laundry. If you could like manifest over by the water heater for like 5 minutes, I promise I'll be super quick about it. Thank you so much. Thank you, Simone. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Hamilton.
Yeah.
That was fun. All right. So we have 2 more acts, and your next act, I miss him so much. I miss seeing him all the time. And hopefully soon things will reopen and I'll see him again. So let's welcome Mitch Muirhead.
Okay, hello, thank you. Wow. That's yeah, I miss you too, Simone. This is actually the first time I've ever done a Zoom show, and I did it just because I like you and I wanted to do that.
Thank you.
Honestly, I'm kind of nervous, but I figured it's public speaking. I'm pretty comfortable with that. Like public speaking for me is like a family reunion, you know? Which is why I'm picturing you all with your clothes off. That signified the joke. I guess I gotta talk about like the truckers, which was honestly, it was kind of good that it turned out that they were just racist pieces of shit, because I actually didn't quite know which side I wanted to be on. It's like, oh, I made it much easier. But like, of course they're pieces of shit. Like, they're truckers. Like, because like, think of the person that buys a Ford F-150, where they're like, oh, I can't fuck my wife, gonna fuck the environment instead. Like, imagine, like, that's the kind of person that sees a Ford F-150 and they're like, you know what? I want that bigger and more obnoxious. Like, could I make it worse somehow? and the thing with like truck drivers or homophobia or whatever, I can't remember which one, but it's that like they're the people that put like metal nuts on the back, like those metal balls that just hang that you can see, and like if you're a homophobe, you're the biggest idiot ever for doing that, because anytime you want to go to the grocery store, you got to climb inside a man. Not gay though. Yeah. Oh, only pussy and climbing inside my truck that I named Bill. That is weird. Another weird thing, like, isn't it ironic that most homophobes come from butt fuck nowhere? That is the dumbest joke I think I'm gonna do tonight. Yeah. You know what? One more. Yeah.
Yeah.
So over the pandemic, I haven't really been doing that much. I've been watching like a lot of YouTube video essays, and not like essays on YouTube. It's like about YouTubers that I don't even fucking know. I've never heard of these people in my life, and they're like, here's why this random person's a piece of shit, and I'm like, I'm in. It's like it's kind of like those murder documentaries, but for people with premature ED, I hope. But like this one that I was watching, it was I don't know if anybody will know who this guy is, but his name's like Nikocado Avocado. And pretty much for people that don't know who he is, he started off as like a vegan, and then over the trajectory he went on this like villain arc, and now he just eats a bunch of food where people are like, no, you're getting fat, and he's like, fuck you, I don't give a fuck. And I was kind of disgusted because I'm doing that for free, and I didn't know you can make money that way. Yeah, that joke was for no one, and I didn't like it either. So let's see. I'm going bald. That's slowly. Yeah, like you can just kind of. You know what? Stages don't really highlight how far back my hair is going. But that's the good thing about Zoom shows, is that you can get a nice close look at all my insecurities. But I'm going bald, and I'm also getting like gray hairs. So like when I'm showering, like I'll use the conditioner, then it's just like a mitt full of hair. And I saw one, and it was like half the hair was brown and then half of it was gray. So it was like just turning. And like I didn't know how to feel about that, because I don't want gray hairs, but I still want to have it, right? It's like it's like if you like didn't have to go to lunch with your grandmother because she died. Like you're like, I technically didn't want to go, but not like that.
Holy shit.
And I got how much time do I have left? I didn't look
about
at the...
30 seconds.
Oh, okay. Let's see. So I got accepted over the pandemic to a sound design program, which includes like a bunch of different stuff, but it includes Foley, which is, if you guys don't know what that is, that's like those guys that like will like run a sheet of paper and just be like, and then it'll sound like a person doing a backflip somehow, like like they're those people. And the prof that accepted me sent me this whole thing about like how Fight Club their sound design like sounded really real, because they filled dead chickens with walnuts and punched them, and that's how you got the punching sound effects. And to reply to the email, I was gonna send hey, this is awesome, thanks for letting me in, I can't wait to start punching chickens. I thought that was a little bit too unprofessional, so what I did instead is I said, I think there should be more Foley in porn.
Ah!
And then I sent him a sound, an MP3 file of me just going boy yo 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 yoing. Thank you guys. My name's Mitch. Have a great night. This was really fun, actually. This was awesome.
Thank you, Mitch.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
fuck.
woohoo. That was great. Thank you, Mitch. So now it's feature time, and your feature act is a very good friend of mine. She's one of my best friends, actually, and she's so talented. She's so funny. She's lovely, and I'm so glad she's here to perform for you tonight. So let's welcome Ashley Perna. Woo. So let me find you and spotlight you, Ashley. Hang on. There you are. Ta-da.
All right. So I know I'm wearing a sweatshirt. Unlike Pete, I do not work for the Arkells. I just wish I did. Dress for the job you want, right? So I've heard that a lot of people lately have lost faith in humanity. And honestly, I'm a bit surprised. You know, I spent years working in retail and in the service industry. And I gotta say, I lost my faith decades ago. Where have you been? You know, I think it was about the same time I had a customer complain about the fact that her 16-quart stock pot took more than 2 minutes to boil. You know, I had to be like, ma'am, I am barely qualified to sell kitchenware, let alone explain the laws of physics to you. I'm a law clerk now, so my job is basically just getting ignored because your aunt's dog walker's chiropractor once watched an episode of Law and Order. And like telling people that you're a comic is not much better because they always want to give you something for your little skits, you know? They'll be like, hey, what do you call cheese that isn't yours? Nacho cheese. You can have that for your little skit. You can have it. That's right. You know, I think I'm going to start doing it back. You know, like, oh, you're an accountant? Okay, let me give you a tip. That little asterisk on your keyboard, that means multiply. You can use that for your little pie pictures. That's yours. So, rather obviously, I'm in therapy. And I'm actually really good at therapy. You know, like I still make terrible choices, but at least now I recognize that they're terrible choices. You know, that's called growth. You know, and if you really want to drill down as to why I need help, let's just say I have a 387-day streak in Duolingo because I really don't want to disappoint a pixelated owl. And that's the most normal thing about me. Therapy is really, really hard work though. You know, like even if you do it all, they still refuse to fulfill your praise kink. You know, it's like, thanks for all these healthy coping mechanisms, but sir, where are my gold stars? You know? In retrospect, this might be why my last 3 therapists went on mental health leave. No, I'm kidding. One left the field of psychology altogether. I also have lupus. That's a fancy way of saying that my brain is not the only thing about me that overreacts to everything. My immune system likes to, and I think this is the technical term, freak the fuck out. So to stay healthy, I have to avoid things like the sun and alcohol and spicy food after midnight. I mean, basically, I'm a dorky gremlin with a skin condition. that makes dating super tricky, you know, because 1 minute you're telling them that you're into choking and foot stuff, and then the next you're mid-coitus dealing with an arthritic hip. That one is actually based on a true story. I literally gave myself permanent nerve damage turning around ever so slightly during reverse cowgirl. Having an autoimmune disease has definitely made the pandemic really tricky to navigate. You know, like between the aches and the pains caused by lupus and the dry cough caused by the weed I smoked to treat my lupus, I am constantly shouting, "It's cannabis, not COVID." Really awkward in the school pickup line. And those COVID tests, lupus means so many COVID tests. You know, those guys, those are just glorified pap smears administered nasally. I miss the days when my cervix was poked more than my brain. Some aspects of the pandemic, though, have been awesome. Like social distancing, absolutely yes, continue to stay 6 feet the hell away from me. Shockingly, I'm terrible at dating. You know, probably because my type is like 8 to 10 red flags in a tight t-shirt.
Me too, girl. Me too.
I'm not saying I have terrible taste. But if I've ever been interested in you, it might be time for you to reevaluate your life choices. You can tell how patient your friends are by how terrible your exes were. Okay? Like, you might think you hate your ex, but no one, and I mean no one, hates them more than your best friend. Okay? You'll be raving about your first date, and Bestie is already buying the breakup tequila. You know? You've nicknamed him the one. You know? Bestie's nicknamed him the horse-faced killer. You know? And then when the breakup happens, she'll be right there beside you, handing you tissues and saying, why are you crying over the Wish version of BoJack Horseman?
Oh.
But opting to be single also sucks, you know, especially when you run out of batteries and your vibrator dies mid-sesh and you gotta go at it all handcrafted style, like you're Amish. It's moments like those that you realize you truly do need someone to remind you to buy batteries. I'm also a mom. My son splits his time between me and his dad. And God, dating as a single parent is super hard. You know, first there's the whole, I don't want to raise someone else's kid bullshit. You know, and to that it's always like, dude, relax. You know, his dad and I have joint custody and I barely let him help. You and your We the North flag for a curtain have nothing to worry about. And then if you can get a date, you got to explain that there is no time for Netflix and chill. I mean, seriously, guys, does anything about me look chill? No. No. We got a Disney Plus and fuck, right? So, like, put on Robin Hood, show me your wood, and let's go. So my neighbor is a sex worker, which is super cool. But she tries to hide it from her landlord by giving out my buzz code, which is significantly less cool. It sucks, you know, because then I'm all pissed off that Buddy's not my Amazon guy, you know, with my batteries. You know, and he's all pissed off that I'm not his sex worker, you know, with his hand job. Like, it is super awkward because, I mean, I'm used to leaving men horny and disappointed, but usually I'm naked first. And I say men, but it's people of all genders left horny and disappointed. I'm less of a queer woman and more of a pan-rejectional being, you know? Part of me does blame online dating. You know, men will get pissed off at you for not responding to their oh so riveting, thought-provoking, conversation-starting hey message within seconds. And women will ghost you for being the wrong astrological sign. You know? And like, the best message I ever got though was I wouldn't kill you to start.
Duh.
And I'm not sure if I was supposed to say thank you, call the cops, or start a true crime podcast. Coming out in my late 30s was about as disappointing as sex with a Tinder date. You know the kind where they jackhammer you for like 38 whole seconds before assuming you came and flopping down like the dead fish they're holding in their profile picture. Actually, you know, guys, I shouldn't rag on fish pick guys. We need more fish pick guys. You know, they enjoy the outdoors, they have a hobby, and they have a skill that directly leads to food. This is a much more practical approach to dating than sending a picture of a sad penis. People do ask me what it's like to get nudes from men and women, and let me tell you, the nudes I get from women, practically an art form. Women put serious time and effort into their nudes. There's perfect framing, soft lighting. I mean, really, if you get a consensual nude from a woman, you are blessed. The nudes I get from men are grainy and zoomed in and quite frankly, terribly lit. Like seriously, guys, invest in a ring light. Or if you really want to impress me, send me a picture of your mattress on an actual bed frame. I shouldn't judge. My last Tinder date with a man was so bad that partway through, I Googled if you have to be Catholic to join a nunnery. Turns out, by the way, you do. So even God swiped left. And my last date with a woman ended with me just jackhammering her. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. It was more of a pressure washing situation. Anyway, I was too much of a Gemini for her, so I had to return the U-Haul. Okay, so for my straight friends, relationships between women move really quick. They move faster than you can say prenup.
Oh.
They move at speeds Superman envies. They move so quickly, they are practically their own unit of measurement, and I still had to return the truck alone. Speaking of nudes, an ex from about a decade ago released mine. I was so pissed. I mean, those were the pictures that I took for him when I was young and sweet and in the best shape of my life. How dare he not tag me in those? I actually did go looking for them because, again, young, hot, want to see. And I was so disappointed. Ugh, I probably should have invested in a ring light. Or like at least bought a bed frame first. Anyway, guys, Robinhood's about to start. My Amazon guy just left my battery at my door, so I gotta go. Thank you so much. Thank you, Simone. This was so much fun. This is my favorite Zoom show ever, and I'm including Deanne in this show. Don't tell her. Thank you. I love you.
Thank you so much, Ashley. Thank you. Woo! So let's keep it going for everyone you've seen tonight. You know, this was a fantastic show, everyone. So let's hear it for Pardis, Chris, Hart, Peter, Amma, Bobby, and Andre, Hamilton, Mitch, and Ashley. Thank you all so much. Yeah, this is like number 16, and I think this was the best one so far. This has been awesome and amazing, and I'm so happy. I don't know when the next one will be because in Ontario, things are opening up as of Monday. So I do want to keep this show going because I think it's important to still have like an online venue sort of thing, but we might go to monthly. So stay tuned on my social media for the next call out. So I'm thinking it might be in about a month or so, but thank you all for coming. Thank you to the comics for donating your time and your talent. I love you all and I appreciate it so much. Thank you to everyone who took the time out to come and watch us and support us. Like, it means the world. And thanks so much, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks, Simone.
Thanks, everybody.
Everyone.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good
Simone,
night.
have a great set at your next show.
Oh, thanks so much. Thanks so
Yeah,
much.
good luck.
Yeah.
Thank you.